Hey everybody, Danny Maude here. Thanks for joining us. This is where I was asked to do a video on what's inside my bag. But you know what? What's inside my bag is unlikely to suit you. So what I will do is slightly do a little twist on this. I'm going to share with you exactly what's in my bag, but I want to help you avoid one of the biggest mistakes that I see with a lot of golfers is often copying people like me as a professional. I'm going to share with you the style of clubs that I've got from driver down to my irons, into my wedges and my putter, things that go inside the bag, why I've chosen the combinations, but then I'm going to share with you specifically what might suit you better based on your ability. You might get on well with some of these things, but not all of them. I'm going to share with you why and what style of head would probably get or help you better. Now, before I do though, look, if you're new to the channel and this is one of your first videos of mine, please consider subscribing. Press that little bell button next subscribe button. You get notified every time I release a video just like this one. So let's get started now with question number one. So what ball do I use and why? I use a premium golf ball. I use the Callaway Chrome Soft X, which is a premium ball. Now, why do I use this? Well, I use it because what it does, primarily, it gives me control around the green. It has a coating around it, which is nice and soft, that allows me to get backspin. Should you be using a premium golf ball? All depends on your standard and how much money you have. Whether, if you're going to be losing a stack of golf balls on a round of golf, you probably don't want to be using premium golf balls because it's going to cost you a fortune. So what balls do you use? Well, any of the top brands are pretty good. And what I would suggest you do is buy the best ball you can afford. What it'll do, the more money you spend on the golf ball, the more control you're going to get, as well as the distance. The less money you spend, you've got the distance, but you don't necessarily get the control around the greens. They're just not soft. One thing to do, stay away from that. Please stay away from refinished golf balls. The refinished golf balls have painting around to them. Their coating is going to make the ball a little bit unbalanced, so please stay away from them. But apart from that, buy the best ball you can afford. So I'm often asked, why does my round often deteriorate towards the end of a round as opposed to the beginning, right? Now, one of the factors is that a lot of people start to tire, and they tire because they're not eating the right type of food during that round of golf, and they're not hydrating. Now, hydration is obvious. One thing I do on a hot day is I make sure I've got a 2-liter bottle of water that I've left in the freezer overnight, and I literally put it in my bag. It melts throughout the entire round of golf, leaving me basically cold water all the way through that round of golf. The second thing I do is I carry certain types of food, and it depends how organized I am. So what I'll often do is I'll have almonds, fruit, and some dark chocolate as well. I'll put that into a little box, and I'll just leave that and I'll nibble that every second hole just to keep me kind of going. The other thing I always do is I'll always keep a bottle of YFOOD in. So stuff like this. I don't know if you've seen this product before. A friend of mine recommended it to me a while ago. This is really useful because basically it's got 500 calories in it. It's got all the nutrition you could need for a round of golf. Often I just don't have time to grab something to eat before a round of golf. Oh, there's just rubbish in the pro shop. So what I do is I literally keep one of these in my bag every single time I'm playing, and I'll either take it before a round, or if it's playing in mid-afternoon, I'll eat it maybe mid-round. So I kind of combine that with maybe some fruit and nut. And the great thing about it for me is it's lactose-free, it's kind of gluten-free. It just works really, really well. So simple as that. That's what I carry in my bag to keep the energy levels up through a round of golf. Right, let's get stuck into the nitty-gritty, the bags, the clubs. Let's get into all of this and what you should be using, what I'm using. So bags-wise, why have I gone for a tour bag? Very simple. Do you need a tour bag? Unlikely. I only use it because I'm taking a caddy around with me sometimes. So when I'm playing tournaments and I have a caddy, I need twice the amount of space because I want my caddy's gear in there as well as mine. That is why I'd use a tour bag. If I'm playing a friendly and I'm focused on my fitness element and I want to build up some stamina, maybe some strength in my shoulders, I will carry because I love carrying. I love the fitness element of the game of golf. But if I'm playing, if I was in your position and I was playing a club competition, would I use a carry bag? Unless you want to focus on fitness as well, probably not if scoring is your main priority, because look, this will waste energy. Electric trolleys, trolley bags are the way to go because it just means it's a lot easier to get around the golf course. So what else do I have? Well, I've obviously got my brolly in there for rainy days. But let's go on to the all important equipment. What do I have in my bag? Let's start with the wedges first. Now, it depends on what level you're at. If you're a beginner golfer, my wife's just started playing, she's a beginner golfer. So I said to her, look, by one wedge, one lofted wedge, 56 degrees maximum. I use, with this here, I use a 56 degree sand wedge. Keeps it really, really simple. I have a steel shaft in this to match my, my irons. If you're a beginner golfer or a senior golfer and you're looking for a little bit more speed, then you probably want to go down the graphite shafted road. But beginners, keep it simple. One lofty club in the bag. I have a multiple. I have 56, I have 60 degrees, and I have 52s. Why? Because I want all of these to form specific tasks. They hit at specific distances, so I want them and I need them to do that. The chances are for a lot of golfers you won't need all of these combinations. It can get confusing, so sometimes just say, look, have one lofty club in your bag, stick with that, and that's a great place to start. For those of you more advanced, you might want to look at bounce options. So now again, I have a couple of lob wedges that I put in and out of the bag. When I'm playing golf courses where the sand is quite wet, so we're approaching winter now, the sand gets quite wet, I will go for a low bounce option. What do I mean by that? If you check out the wedges, they'll say something like, this one says 60 degrees and it has 12 degrees of bounce. That's a lot of bounce. I'll use that for powdery sands, soft bunkers, to get that gliding effect through the sand. If I'm playing harder sand, I might bring that down to almost 4 degrees so I can cut through that compact sand. But keep it really simple in the wedges. Now, going into the irons themselves. Look, currently I'm still using my old set of Callaway Apex Pros. They're a forged set of irons. Now, keeping it really simple, I go for this. I like the look of a small head on the iron. It's just a personal preference. So why do I go for that? Is it an advantage? Of course it's not. I just like the look of it. The second thing is, and I say this to a lot of the guys who I'm coaching, I don't need any help getting the ball up in the air. So what I do is I have a very slim line base to the product here. Because I want the ball having a lovely penetrating ball flight. I don't want the ball losing distance just by going up. Again, I don't need any help. Now, if you're starting out and you're not hitting the ball too far, then you might want to look at something that has a much wider base. And there's a mixture of this style of club on the market. Just keep it really, really simple. Fat, bottom base golf clubs make it easier for you to get the ball up in the air and carry the ball further. So if you're finding that at the top part of your bag, the clubs are going similar distances, then this is a style of iron that is going to suit you. Much more chunky base at the bottom part of the club compared to what I'm using, which is much more of a streamline style of golf clubs. And again, look, I'm using steel shafted golf clubs simply because I swing quite fast and I let the steel is nice and heavy and it kind of helps me monitor the speed of my swing. If I'm a slow swinger, which some of my students are, I would recommend graphite shafts because they will help to increase your club head speed. So that's, in terms of style of head, that's what I'd look for. The second thing I would look for in an iron as well, not just the base, I would look at how much offset the head is. Now, what do I mean by that? If you are slicing the golf ball or sometimes struggling to catch the ball first, a slight offset in the head, this angle here, can really, really help you to get that ball first, but at the same time, it can also give you time for the toe to catch up and reduce your slice. Really, really important. For those of you who are slicing, if you're using a club like mine, it won't help at all. So again, don't just copy what some of the better players are using. Start to find clubs that suit your game. Custom fitting will always do that. So that's simple as that's the irons. Now, what combination of irons should you get in your bag? I've got a combination that drifts, but what I would say is this is my wife Laura. Again, she's a beginner golfer. She's already realized that she's probably only going to have a driver, a 5 hybrid, a 7-iron, a 9-iron, and a sand wedge. Keeps it really, really simple because ultimately that's all she needs right now. So you've got to figure out where you are and where your golf is. As you start to progress and you start to hit the ball further and further, then you can start to add in more clubs. 14 clubs is the maximum clubs you can have in your golf bag. So my set starts with a 3-iron and goes all the way down to my lob wedge. Now, for you, that might not be the way to go. Though I sometimes, by the way, I sometimes take out my 3-iron. So I'll take out my 3-iron and I'll put in a hybrid in its place. Now, that will depend on a couple of reasons. How well I'm playing, because a free hybrid, if you've got hybrids, they're a lot easier to get up in the air than the long irons are, which is why even many of the top players now, you'll see them going to a hybrid. What is a hybrid? It is simply a modern iron. And in keeping it really simple, it's like a mini wood, but it's an iron. We've just talked about the fat, chunky bases to irons. Well, what you've got now is I'm using a fat, chunky base club to help me get more airborne with the longer club so I can get more carry. So I'll sometimes find if I'm playing parkland golf courses where wind's not as much of a problem, I will go for more of a hybrid style golf club. If I'm playing links line where the wind gets very, very blustery, I'll probably leave this in the bag and go with my 3-iron simply because it helps me drill the ball a lot lower. Now again, I'm using a pro style hybrid. What should you be using? Well, again, the likelihood is a lot of my students would get on with something like this because again, it's onset in terms of the head. It's not offset. It's much sleeker. Okay, it's a much smaller style of club. Depending on what standard you are, if you feel like the long irons are some of the areas of your bag that you struggle with, again, choose a hybrid that has possibly a little bit more offset on it here. It's a little bit chunkier and it's weighted in a way that helps the toe turn over, particularly if you're slicing. Because again, why not use the advantage of technology to improve your game? So different style of hybrids will suit different types of golfers. So if you're a slicer, you try and find something that's a little bit more offset. And if you struggle to get the ball airborne, get something nice and chunky to help you get the ball up in the air. So from the hybrids, I will then move to my fairway woods. Now again, I've got a 3-wood and a 5-wood in here. I don't use them. I can't use them. I'm limited to the number of clubs I've got. But again, it just depends on the golf course I'm playing. If I'm playing a really long golf course and I just happen to find that the 3-wood is necessary, that goes in the bag. This is what you do in terms of recce. Once you know the golf course, I'll know which one to put in the bag. But again, keep it simple. I find a lot of people shouldn't really be probably using 3-woods. A lot of people don't hit the ball far enough to get the 3-wood up in the air. They're better off using like a more lofted wood, like a 5-wood or even a 7-wood. You may find that they go just as far, if not further, than your 3-wood. Because again, the way it works is that if you can't get the ball airborne, you can't get the carry in the distance. You might get some roll, but a lot of the energy is killed too early. So you've got to get that launch up first to get the carry in the distance. So choosing a fairway wood wisely is really, really important. Again, a custom fitting would do that. But loft is your friend. Most people, I'm recommending 5-woods and 7-woods rather than 3-woods in the bag. And again, not all fairway woods are created equal. Again, I'm using a pro style fairway wood. Much sleeker, onset, trying to drill my ball, keep it down, compared to, something like this, which again is offset, another offset style 3-wood with the weight really positioned really low and back to help you get the ball up in the air. It weighted in a certain way for the toe to turn over so it can help reduce that slice. Different clubs will suit you in different ways. So watch out for that. It doesn't need to be a minefield. Just keep it really, really simple. Offset, big chunky heads. And the other thing what I love about this particular style as well, this is very squashed and low profile. When you squash a club down, you lower the center of gravity and help the ball go up in the air. If you compare that to something like mine, completely different in shape. I don't want the fairway wood squashed down because again, I'll hit the ball too high. That is what most people want. So watch out for that. Shaft wise, again, people often ask me what shaft I'm using in my clubs. Well, in my fairway woods, I'm using a Tensei kind of Flex TX 70 shaft. That's what I use in my fairway woods. But to be honest with you, it's not a question I like to be asked because this is unique to me and we're all different. So you need to, keeping it simple, just buy yourself some, if you're starting out, just, maybe regular graphite shafts will be absolutely fine. Once you start getting more advanced and you start getting some more consistency, Go and get yourself custom fitted for shafts to find specifically what works for you. Here's the mistake I made. I used to copy my idols. I'd want to use the same clubs, the same shafts, and do you know what? It never ever worked. It just really spoiled my game. So please, if you're playing regularly and you're learning and you're beyond just learning, but you're needing custom fitting or better clubs, please go and get custom fitted. Drivers, again, it's exactly the same story. Look, I'm using an O-band extra stiff in my driver, nice purple shaft here. People have to ask me about this. I'm in and out of heads at the moment, so I've been using a Callaway Epic Sub-Zero for quite a while, which I've really liked. Callaway sent me this one, which is kind of like the same model. I like it, I really do. But again, forget about the actual model itself. Again, it just comes down to the style. You know, there's just different styles in the head. I'm using, again, a Sub-Zero here. It keeps the ball down. It reduces my spin to keep the ball down because I don't have any problem getting it up in the air. But a club like this one here, which is completely different. Again, it's offset. I don't need to go into all the details. It has all the properties we just talked about with the Fairway Woods and the hybrids to help you get the ball much straighter. It's going to be far better than you may be choosing something like this, particularly if you slice the golf ball. So loft-wise, what loft should you use? I'm using a 9.5 in my driver at the moment. I'm playing around with that. Beginner golfers, loft it up. You know, get yourself into maybe a 12 degree. The wonderful thing about modern drivers now, you can start lofting up by as much as a degree and a half. So they're more flexible, you know, and the great thing about them, they can grow with you. You can start off with, like I say, a 12 degrees, a great place to start if you're a beginner, and gradually move it down to maybe 10 and a half as you start to get a little bit better. And you don't have to buy new products because the club does that for you. So then, that is pretty much my bag and keeping it really simple. Going into the putter, you're gonna love this. So I have been using forever since I was a boy, a very old Scotty Cameron Newport. Absolutely love it. It's my little wand. I don't change it. And that's the thing about putters. Find something that works and stick with it. People talk about there's three style of putters out there. There's what you call face balance putters, which kind of, if you hold them like this, the face balances. You've got a medium heel to toe, where if you literally drop it like this, the club just falls down. And then you've got what you call complete heel to toe, which drops like this. Again, what's the best putter for you? Do you know what? It all depends on your ability and how long you've been playing. I have a stroke that has a natural arc to it, and I want the club to flow with my arc. So I have a putter that literally opens and closes very naturally. Some people like to kind of have a putting stroke that's a lot more bent over here into position, and they like to have more of a straight back and straight through stroke. And I recommend more of a face style putter. That is more of a mallet style design. But again, how do you choose? Do you know what? If you're a beginner, just grab any putter for now. You know, make sure it's fit to length. So, you know, just feel if it's coming right up here, you know, it's too long. Just get it fit for length. But that is it. I mean, look, what's in my bag probably shouldn't be in your bag. We're all different. So don't make this complicated. Keep it real simple. In summary, in terms of clubs, if you're beginning, you struggle to get the ball airborne, go for a simple half set. Driver, 5 hybrids, 7-iron, 9-iron sandwich putter. That is as simple as that. As you start to advance and you start to get better, then start to look at adding more clubs into your bag. What style of clubs do you want to go for? Go for the clubs that are chunky in the base. They help you get the ball airborne. Start to put hybrids in your bag, maybe 5s, 6s, you know, those kind of things. Again, why? The chunkier they are, the easier it is to get up in the air and the further you'll hit it. Moving into the Fairway Woods. If you're advanced, you might want to do what I do, which is switching in and out 3 and 5 woods. Stiffer shafts, again, for higher clubhead speeds. What shaft will you need to put into your clubs? Well, that will depend on your ability. You will not know this unless you go and get a proper custom fitting. So go and check that out for you advanced players. Remember the style of heads with the woods. Offset, low profile heads, lofted heads. Get the ball up in the air. Get heads that are weighted in the heel of the golf club, a little bit like these ones here, that help massively reduce your slice. Again, the weight in the heel speeds up the toe, helps us toe to speed up and close that face down. So you don't have to do as much work on your golf swing. Very, very, very helpful. Okay, so look, this is a very different video for me. I just wanted to add it. I had so many questions about equipment, what's in my bag, but really the summary is this. Please don't copy me. Be yourself. We're all unique in our own way, but just get yourself started initially by buying yourself a nice simple set of golf clubs and then gradually start adding these improvements to it over time. Be patient. Don't copy me, please. But look, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with some of your friends who could do some maybe equipment advice. And of course, look, if you're new to the channel, this was one of your first videos of mine. Thanks for joining us. Press that little subscribe button and the bell so I can send you more videos just like this one. But until next week, have a great golfing week.